Know that bass live their life suspended. In other words, they're not like a catfish that's laying up against a log or laying up against a big rock or something like that. They've got water all the way around them. That's what suspended means. But where do they suspend? Good morning, guys and girls. September 30. 30 days has September, April, June, and November. I love it. Learned that when I was like 3 years old. All the rest have 31, except February. All right, now that we've had our little lesson there, you know, the October 1 is the last quarter of the year. You know, we have 52 weeks in a year. We have 4 quarters, and each of them have 13 weeks. The calendar is amazing the way it's broken down. It's broken down like a deck of cards. I'm sure y'all have heard that old song, but it's just kind of an amazing deal to me. But October 1 starts the last quarter of the year, and we do things in television by quarters, so obviously it's an important deal to us to start the last quarter. All right, let's see what we're looking at here for September 30. We're going to be looking in Psalm 34:19. People who do what is right may have many problems, but the Lord will solve them all. The Lord will solve them all. People who do what is right, that's what everybody's trying to do, may have many problems, but the Lord's going to solve them for you. When I think about the early days of tournament bass fishing for Chris and me, it seemed like life was an absolute constant day-by-day struggle. Raising 2 babies, starting a career, trying to pay bills, and playing in this new deal that was called bass fishing tournaments. All the while, we were trying to develop a strong relationship with each other and with the God we both trusted so very much. I never thought I would say it, but indeed, those were the good old days. You hear old people say that all the time. Boy, I wish we had the good old days. Well, here we are. Those were the good old days. Now, our struggles include several businesses with more than 100 people working who need a regular paycheck. We deal with bankers, lawyers, customers, suppliers, sponsors, friends, and yeah, even a few enemies. Most people, however, are really a blessing. Most people that we have in our life are a blessing to us. I ask God to have favor from the people that we have in our life. I ask Him to make them look at me and have favor toward me, whether they're just a really good friend or whether they're a sponsor or somebody that we're doing business with or whatever. I want them to have favor toward me, and God's favor can pour down and actually go through other people, and it does with us a lot. The God whom Chris and I trusted as teenage newlyweds is still right there, solving our problems one by one. And our trust in Him right now is even greater. That's really, 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 I hadn't read that one in a while. You know, I read this book all the time, just like a lot of other people do. By the way, if you want a copy of the Catch of the Day book, you can just give us a call at our office, 918-457-5115. I think we also have a link on these videos that tell about, I don't know anything about links, to be honest with you, but I think we have that, we will personalize and autograph the book for you and personalize it if you want it to someone. If you want it that way, be sure and tell them when you order it. I'll even pay the shipping and handling on the book if you want it. It's great to read along as we do these. I'm writing a new daily devotional book right now, and we're getting along on it pretty good, as a matter of fact, trying to write several every day. I sometimes will miss not writing any in a day or miss 4 or 5 days in a row, so I'm really, really working hard on it. But for 2021, this coming year, we'll still be using this book again. We're just going to go through it again. It's God's Word, God's living Word. I've read the Bible completely through every year since I was like 25 or 26 years old, and it's still great to read it, and I'll read it every year until I die, as long as I can read, which might not be much longer, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to use this same book next year. The following year, we'll have that new devotional. We should have it about ready. It should be printed by about this time next year. All righty, let's look over here and look at our tip. You know, and I'm thinking back about all the things that we went through and the things that we did back in those days. And I can remember going to bass tournaments as far away as Florida and not having enough money to get back home. not having enough money to get back home. And hotel rooms were like $6 or $8 a night. And that's all they were, $6 or $8 a night, plus, a little bit of tax. Taxes back in those days were 3 and 4%, not 10 or 11 or 12% like it is now. And we would have to get a check in the tournament to have enough money to get back home. But those were the good old days. They are so fantastic. It was amazing. Here's our tip for this week, and this is a really good one right here. Bass normally suspend in cover and not on the bottom. So bass will usually be suspended around cover of some sort and not laying on the bottom. Now, they will suspend off the bottom sometimes, but the majority of the time they are suspending around something. And here's something we've learned so much this year using a Garmin Live Scope, because we've just used it all year. We started back in February or something, using them. And we, how we think that we see a school of shad and we throw and bring a bait underneath the shad, trying to catch a bass that might be down underneath that shad. We found that the really big giant bass, these 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-pound bass that we caught earlier in the year, they're usually suspended on top of the shad, not down below the shad. So that's just one little thing. We've learned so many other things, and we've learned that those big bass move around a lot. You might have a tree, and you're looking at a tree on your live scope, and you see a bass over here on the other side. You throw your bait in there, and the bass swims around to the other side. And they move a lot. They're constantly moving. A lot of times when we see those big fish suspended, and many of them we see suspended 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 to 10 foot down over 15 or 20 foot of water. And we bring our bait over the top of them. If we drop it down below them, we don't get a bite. So there's so many things about suspended bass that we're learning with the new electronics that we've got nowadays. I had a buddy that I fished with a lot that caught an 8-pounder just in about the last 10 days. 8-1, I think is what he said it weighed. And he caught it in wide open water, 11 foot deep, suspended 11 foot. He didn't say how deep the water was, but it was suspended 11 foot. So over, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 foot of water. And he saw that bass on that scope and caught it. And he sent me a picture of what he caught it on, and I can't remember what it was. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today, and remember, I love you.